This is how we let go of our occupational identity. We learn about how personal identity is formed. I interview an expert on psychologist and expert on identity. And then we talk about the uniquely human skills that are becoming increasingly important. But just to frame this whole section, I use an iceberg because I think we have been using an iceberg. We've been completely not looking below the waterline at all. So the top of the iceberg is the skills to do, the skills for which you're hired. That becomes our sort of myopic obsession from grade school on, asking, figuring out what somebody's good at, what job they could have, is it going to be employable in the future? We hire people for jobs based upon skills, but we only hire them for the skills we know about by the time we get them in the company and onboarded. Generally, that need has changed and we're not even screening for the right stuff. At the waterline, we're starting to pay attention to this. This is uniquely human skills, the things that make you better at your job, but also better in your relationships. They're all the human skills: creativity, communication, empathy, divergent thinking, critical thinking, negotiation, management skills, all of those skills, many of which we've left out of all of our workforce prep. And then we don't tend to explicitly reward them in organizations. We tend to focus more on the skills to do. Below that, and I get into this much more depth in the book, something I call the agile learning mindset. It's your ability to learn and adapt and your ability to understand market changes. You can no longer have a job where you say, this is what I do, I have no idea how the company works. You have to understand your organization's business model, how they create value, how they distribute that value, and how you connect to actually contribute to that value creation. Because if your company's business model changes, chances are good your role is going to need to change and you need to adapt ahead of that. And then at the basis of it is a resilient adaptive identity that's connected to your understanding of purpose. So that's why I talked about those 14 dimensions of societal cultural change, because if you feel like you've lost your place in the world because of those things, it's not easy to be vulnerable enough to learn and adapt. And if you don't have a connection to your curiosity or your purpose, you're not connected to your internal source of motivation, which is necessary to learn and adapt for life.